Hi, I'm Tom Dodson, the Communication Librarian for SOU. In this video, I'm going to show you how to search the Communication Source database for journal articles in communication studies. Communication Source covers journals in areas such as media studies, linguistics, speech pathology, rhetoric, and discourse. It includes almost 1,000 active index and abstracted journals, most of which are peer-reviewed. First, I want to show you how to find Communication Source. You'll probably start at the Handon Library website, which you can get to with the URL handlib.sou.edu. If you're getting to us from inside SOU, from the Inside SOU page, you'll scroll down to Quick Links and then select Handon Library. Once you're on the Handon Library website, you have two paths to Communication Source. First, you can use the Research Guide for Communication. This is a set of curated resources the library has put together for folks doing research in communication. Just below the Begin Research in Your Subject area heading, you'll see a drop-down, Choose a Research Guide for your subject. Select that and scroll down to Communication. Like most of our research guides, this one features a list to links to recommended databases at the top left. The first database link is Communication Source. If you haven't already authenticated with Okta, you may be prompted to log in before gaining access to the database. I'm already logged in, so it takes me right there. You'll also notice this header EBSCOhost and might think that's the name of the database. Actually, EBSCOhost is the company that makes the database. The name of the database, Communication Source, is right here. You're in the right place. Another way to reach the database from the Handon Library website is the Databases by Title button. You'll find it here under Begin Research in Your Subject area under the drop-down, Databases by Title. Select that. Then select C for Communication Source. Scroll to Communication Source and click the link. Now that we've got access to the database, let's take a look at what it has to offer. Okay, here we are at Communication Source's Advanced Search. First, I'm going to demonstrate a simple keyword search. Let's say I'm interested in cognitive dissonance. I'm going to enter that into the search box. Notice that I've put cognitive dissonance in quotation marks. By doing that, I'm saying that I'm searching for these words as a phrase, not individually. To put it another way, I'm telling the database that I only want instances of these two words when there are no other words between them. Okay, let's execute our search by clicking the search button. We got over 500 results. That's more than I want to sort through right now, so I'm going to narrow my search. To do that, I'm going to go back to Advanced Search. Let's say what I'm really interested in is cognitive dissonance as it relates to social media. I'm going to add a term to my search, social media. For the same reason as before, I'm also putting it in quotes. Notice that these two terms are joined by the Boolean operator AND. That will narrow my topic, because for this search, the database will only return items that have both phrases. If I change this to OR, this search would return items that had either term, resulting in a larger number of results than even my initial search. So I'm going to stick with AND. That's what I want because I'm trying to narrow my topic, not broaden it. Let's go ahead and execute this search. This search resulted in 34 results, a much more manageable number. Let's make our search a little more complex. I'm going to go back to Advanced Search. Let's say I'm interested to approaches to social media from both cognitive dissonance theory and rhetorical theory. This is a perfect opportunity to use the OR operator to expand my search. In this first field, I'm going to put in the OR operator and the phrase rhetorical theory. In this database, I know that putting two terms in the same field and joining them with a Boolean operator like AND or OR will search for them as a set, sort of like putting something in parentheses in a math equation. it makes it clear that I want this operation to happen first and be treated as a single unit. I'm joining this set to the phrase social media in the next field using and. So here I'm simultaneously broadening my search from cognitive dissonance to include rhetorical theory and narrowing it to results that also include the phrase social media. Let's execute the search. I see that I got 43 results. Each one of these results will definitely have social media and may also have either cognitive dissonance, rhetorical theory, or both. Let's say, though, that what we'd really like to find is an article that combines cognitive dissonance theory and rhetorical theory into a single analysis of some aspect of social media. To do this search, I'm going to go back to Advanced Search, and I'm actually going to delete the or, grab rhetorical theory, put it down here, so that each of these three phrases is joined by and, so narrowing and narrowing further. I'm going to click Search. Okay, Communication Source is telling me that it found no results for my search. I can react to this in different ways. The least helpful would probably be to just say, oh well, there's nothing on my topic. A more productive response would be to rethink our search terms or the structure of our search. Perhaps the database uses different language to describe what we're getting at. To deal with that, I could examine subject terms in Communication Source. I'll talk about subject terms a little later in this video. I could also look in another communication studies database and see if I get the same result. Finally, we could think of this as an opportunity. Maybe we found a gap in the scholarship. Maybe no one has written an analysis of social media yet that combines both of these approaches. Maybe the person to fill that gap will be you. One of the advantages of a database like Communication Source over Google and Google Scholar is that it allows you to search specific fields. I can search for my original term, cognitive dissonance, in all fields of the article records, but I can also limit my search to the abstract or author-supplied keywords, or to just the title field. I can even search for geographic terms or the name of the publication the article is in. Let's say I'm doing a literature review, and I want to see everything the database has that was written by the Israeli social psychologist Ziva Kunda. I'm going to put her last name first, as I would in a reference list, and then her first name. She has an uncommon name, so I probably don't need to do this, but just to be sure I don't get any other Zivas or other Kundas, I'm going to put her name in quotation marks. Now I'm going to select the author field and execute my search. I only find 3 articles by Ziva Kunda, all of them in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology. Now let's look at a special field in the database, the subject terms field. I'll select it here. So, subject terms are standardized terms drawn from a predefined list, sometimes called a database's thesaurus. Subject terms gather similar items together. You can think of it as like a tag or a label assigned by a person rather than just a word or phrase that happens to appear in the title or the abstract. Now, why would we need a system like this? Well, imagine that you're doing a keyword search in Communication Source for mobile phones. I'm not going to execute the search right now. But your keyword search isn't going to get every article about mobile phones because some of those articles are going to use different keywords like cell phone or smartphones or wireless phones. A standardized term assigned to all articles about mobile phones, regardless of what they're called, solves this problem. Once you've identified a standardized term, you can search just for that in the subject field. Let's take a look into the subject terms used in this database and its thesaurus by clicking on the Subjects tab beneath the search boxes. I'm going to use our existing search and find mobile phones. Now I'm searching the thesaurus for subject terms, not searching for articles right now in this field. Here I'm told that mobile phones, I should actually use the term cell phones. So I'm going to click on that to get more information. And here it gives me a definition of what I should expect under this heading of cell phones, under the subject term. Whoops. I'm given some suggestions for broader terms, some suggestions for narrow terms, and related terms. It also indicates here that it's used for a variety of other terms I might have chosen, like cellular handset phones or cellular phones. All of those are going to be considered under cell phones in this database. So I'm going to click the check mark here for cell phones and click Add to Search. And here it added a subject search for cell phones. And I'm actually going to delete my original search and just do that. All right, I got 1,936 results, and I can be sure that these are all about cell phones, what I was calling mobile phones before. Now that we know how to do keyword and subject searching in Communication Source, I want to show you some other ways to limit your search results. Let's try a search for rhetorical theory. Go ahead and execute that search. I got 1,095 results. That's more results than I want to deal with, so I'm going to go back to Advanced Search. And here under the search bars, I've got filters, and I'm going to select past 5 years to limit my results to just articles that have been published in the last 5 years. Click Search. I got down to 151 results. So I can also apply filters from within this search results screen. I'm going to go up here to peer reviewed and add that to my filters. So I'm only seeing peer-reviewed articles in the past 5 years. I also see that the first article result is in Arabic. I don't read Arabic, so perhaps I might also add another filter. I'm going to click All Filters, and I'll get a list of all the possible filters, and I'm going to filter my language, filter to just English, and click Apply. Okay, now I have 130 results. I can also sort my results. For example, I can order the results by date. So they're sorted now by relevance. I can click here and say Date Newest. And the first article on the list was published, it appears in June 2025, which is 1 month from when I'm recording this video. Before we wrap up, I want to show you how to access the full text of articles you find. Let's go back to our search for cognitive dissonance and social media. This first article, Cognitive Dissonance in Social Media and Face-to-Face Interactions in Relation to the Legacy of War, looks promising. I'm going to select it. And here I get the details of the article, including the title, the authors, subject terms, and the abstract summarizing the article. So let's say I read the abstract and I decide that I want to cite this article. One of the things that this database provides is this Cite button. Click here, and this produces a citation for the article in the style that you choose from the drop-down. I'm going to choose APA, and then here I'm going to copy that citation to the clipboard. This can save you a lot of time, copying the citation, pasting it into a document. However, you need to be aware that these citations are generated by algorithms. You'll need to check them yourself for accuracy and proper formatting. I suggest copying citations like this as you go. It's easy to delete them later if you find that you don't need them. So let's say that we've decided we also want to download this article. That's very straightforward here using this download button. There's a download button up here, but this one will just download the data on this page. You want to use this download button to get the PDF. I could just click download to do that, but I'm not going to do that right now. Instead, I'm going to go back to results and show you another way to get access to an article. Not all articles have their PDFs in this database. So for example, why do people generate toxic speech toward woke advertising? Says check at SOU, meaning that the PDF of the article is not available in the database itself. I'm going to click on the title, Let's say I wanted to read the abstract provided by the authors and make sure that this was something that I wanted to read the full text of. So here, when we have the Check at SOU button, I'll click that and it will take me actually to the library catalog. Here we're shown that we have access to the full text PDF from Taylor and Francis, which is another publisher. I'll go ahead and click that. It'll open a new tab. And here underneath full article, I see I have a button to view the PDF. I want to point out something about this information in the catalog though, before I clicked on Taylor and Francis. Let's say the library didn't have access to the full text of the article. You'll see this box beneath Get It from Other Locations. And clicking Get It, it will auto-populate the information about the article into a web form, and that will be sent to our interlibrary loan department. This means Hannon Library will get you an electronic copy of the article from another library and send it usually within a day or two. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video about searching the Communication Source database. As I said at the top of the video, I'm Tom Dotson, the Communication Librarian for SOU. You can find my contact information at the Communication Research Guide at libguide.sou.edu/communication. I hope you'll reach out if I can be of any help with your research.